Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everyone. Oh gosh, I'm so glad to be with you again. My goodness, we are in the midst of an amazing transformation, right? Always on this show, and that these times, things seem so like topsy-turvy. What's going on? And that's exactly what's supposed to be happening. And I know our guest is going to have a lot to share around, growing spiritually and whatnot, accelerating the growth during this time, and evolving further, because that's what all this is about. And you don't know which way is up, but your mind says, no, I'm convinced, I know what's happening. I mean, okay, that's pretty funny though when you think about it. So we're gonna have a good time with our guest today. So I just want to welcome to the show Kimberly Sherry, our amazing guest today. Hello.
Thank you for having me. I'm quite honored.
Very nice to have you. And Kimberly has done amazing work with top leaders in the industry with their businesses, money, relationships, wellness, and everything. So let me go ahead and share a little bit more about her with you. Kimberly Sherry is an international money energy expert, #1 best-selling author, inspirational speaker, frequency alchemist, and creator of the Infinity System, Infinity Scale, and MediClearings, all trademarked. Very smart, very good. So she has helped thousands of people around the globe break through life challenges and limiting beliefs to create great financial success, more loving relationships, and improved health and wellness. Child, life in a religious cult from birth until age 38, an abusive marriage as well, and near suicide. Kimberly knew the system she discovered was not intended just for her. So the system she's coming up for was helped her through this. It was meant to be shared and inspire others. Today, she teaches, writes, speaks publicly, and works with groups and one-to-one clients across the globe, no matter where she is. She has just published her new book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, which just really captivated me. I'm so into that, and which outlines her system. So Kimberly, man, we have some amazing things to dive into. I'm always talking about, hey, we're infinite intelligence and power, and are we acting like it? So like, let's get this party started, right? So, oh my goodness. And I love that, we're talking about your telescope earlier on, which people that aren't seeing through video can see this nice telescope. She was like, I don't know, should I get out of the way? Oh my gosh, it's heavy. I'm like, no, that looks pretty cool. Because isn't it like, man, you look up in the sky, those stars, man, we get a much greater perspective of ourselves, because we're really looking at us, right? I mean, we look up into the sky, we're really seeing more of really an expansion of who we are.
Keep things in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had some incredible conversations and about your journey already, and we're just scratched the surface, I know. So let's get into it. Tell me, you have a very powerful journey into this system that you're sharing through your new book, right? So the Accessing Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. So I know that you had all these different experiences, sexual abuse, in a religious cult, abusive marriage, near suicide, all these things. I'd love to hear more about that and what led you to creating this, what led you into creating the system, or the system coming to you, whatever may be the case. So how did this come to you? Tell us about your story.
Yeah, well, I think there's a common thread that weaves between all of those, and that has to do with power, losing power, not being in my power. As a very young child, having my power taken away, and then all the lack mindsets and religious programming that was all designed to control people through fear, guilt, and shame. That's how cults operate. And, this led me on a very deep journey. And, I think the path of a healer, that's what the path of a healer is. You are given a lot to heal in a lifetime. And so it's your job, it's your journey to heal through all this stuff. And then you bring those results to people and help others on their way. But I was in this religious cult, born and raised in that, until I was about 38, and I was suicidal because of just the way everything was. And, I was standing in a gun store, wondering, is this going to be strong enough to do the job, and what woke me to my senses is realizing that I couldn't do that to my two children. So I chose life, and I got angry instead. That was a little bit of a thaw from the deep depression I was in. And that anger is what fueled me out of that religious cult, out of the abusive marriage. And I journeyed on from there, started a retail flooring store with my partner at the time. And this imploded in the last economic depression in 2008, 2009. And from there, I really wanted to discover why some people just thrive easily and effortlessly. I'm sitting on the right side of the road in my motorhome wondering, I'm meant for more than this. And that led me into the Amazon jungle with the Children of the Sun Foundation. And over 5 years, I went back to the jungle several times, and about 25 ayahuasca journeys later, I broke through Dr. David Hawkins' scale, the one he outlined in his book, Power versus Force. So I basically stood on his shoulders and started creating this system from there, applying it to myself, applying it to my clients, and getting amazing, amazing results. That's the short version.
Well, that's incredible. Of course, the scale you're talking about, some people may be familiar with it. Probably most of our audience are at least familiar with it. Energy frequencies, right? Basically, that we embody, like emotional states or whatever you want to call them. But like shame, is like at the sort of at the bottom, and it goes all the way up to joy or whatever the highest might be. But you have the scale, right, of frequency. And my friend Christy Marie Sheldon, she many years ago when she came on one of my shows, she was one of the big one names, outside of that always talk about it, like love and above. That's where we want to be, love and above. It always stayed with me, that love and above thing, right? So the frequency of being at love and above. And so tell us.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something different. How my scale is different. That love, Hawkins' scale, love is at 500. And then his scale topped out at 1,000, where the enlightened range was from 750 to 1,000. So what I've discovered is that 500 vibration of love is very basic love. Like I love brownies. I love chocolate ice cream. And so this scale takes love to a whole different level. You're talking about measuring frequencies. Everything is a vibration. And so the love that's at the top of this scale, which it breaks through to infinity at about 250,000. And then from there goes on to infinity. In those higher vibrations of infinity is where you'll find unconditional love and bliss and ecstasy. And so that's a whole, up level of love. So that's the basic difference.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. And isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Like we have the pioneers that come in with the systems, and then we have the people that develop things from that, and that can typically will help serve us better, hopefully. So that's amazing that you've created that. And so so how do you utilize this wisdom and knowledge? So you have the wisdom and knowledge of this scale, and then it came to you, more information about it, is what it sounds like. And then you came to understand what? It sounds like you came to understand, man, vibration, frequency is kind of everything, is what it sounds like. But what did you discover Yeah.
Yeah, I discovered that everything can be measured. So that's one thing. But some of the more important ones that I measure, I do a vibrational temperature report, altitude report for clients, and I measure about 40 different things. So things like how much martyr energy you have, that would be that hardworking, struggling, suffering energy, how much victim energy you have, how much shame. If you have a lot of shame in your energy field, your clients are not going to be able to find you. How much anger do you have? A lot of people, I would say the majority of people, probably even higher now, but for a long time before everything happened, it was right about 50%. Everybody had about 50% anger. That's where I found my level of anger when I first discovered this. I didn't consider myself an angry person. So what I realized was that at this 50% is if you have 50% anger, you're not going to feel angry. But you might be easily annoyed, frustrated, irritated. Like I would really get frustrated in driving in traffic. I really dislike traffic, and that would always, trigger me. That 50%, you're just kind of always on the edge, Around 95 to 100%, you're going to be way more angry. However, if you're not in your body all the way, which is another thing that can be measured, you might not even know that you have that much anger. Or fear is another thing that can be measured. A lot of people are really afraid right now with everything that's going on. And a lot of people have a coping mechanism of leaving their bodies so that, it's overwhelming. They don't know what to do with all of that energy. So they stay in their body just with a very thin thread, maybe as little as 15%, and they function like that. But the downside of that is that if you're not in your body, in this powerful tuning fork, in this vessel that receives all this information, you're not going to be in touch with everything that's coming in, all the information that you need, if you're not fully embodied, which is another vibration that can be measured. So yes, it helps to accelerate everything. That I know you probably have a lot of healers and people that use different modalities, and that's not to make any of these modalities wrong. It's just that, well, if we can do it faster and more efficiently, then why not? So I think precision matters. This is especially true if you're building a foundation in a house, if you're following a recipe, if you're sailing across the globe, you need precision. A little bit will take you way off course if you're just a little bit off. So by measuring these frequencies, then you can use whatever modality you use to heal things and to change your frequencies, clear lower vibrating energies. And then when you remeasure, then you know if you got it all. Because a lot of people are just kind of going by symptoms, like that's kind of like, feeling the back of your neck for your temperature. And so, yeah, I think, but if you got a thermometer out, you would know exactly if you still have a fever. So I think precision is important, and that's why these numbers are so valuable.
That's really awesome, Kimberly. I love that because that's one of the things I've always said. With something I've trained a lot of people in, like with energy scanning, for example. Like, can you tune in and even know really what's going on with people with any level of precision, rather than just kind of got a feeling this or but do we have that precision? That really makes a lot of sense. Is to be able to, because you can help people more. There's more that we can access and work with when we have greater levels of precision. And I think that is something that traditionally for our energy worker crowd that we I don't want to make a total generalization, but in general you're right. I think it's lacking. We don't do it with precision. Well, I just got this thing, Reiki or whatever it is, and we just send the energy and we hope for the best, and
Right.
and it brings a certain amount of results. But there's more of a bandwidth that we can tune into if we're willing to go deeper and have more precision, is what I'm hearing you say, right?
Right. Yes. And one other benefit of using the numbers I found is that numbers are neutral. Like you could be talking to a client, but when you start talking about something that's a touchy subject, instead of giving your opinion about things, when you just measure it, then that's just the numbers. I'm not giving you my opinion or it's not going through my filters. It's just the number.
Right.
And so it's much easier to hear sometimes, although sometimes people are even triggered by numbers.
Yeah.
People, if you're overweight and you step on a scale, those numbers are going to trigger you. So sometimes if it's just an indication, though, that they have a lot of judgments in their space when they feel really triggered by the numbers. So at any rate, the numbers are really a great way to be really accurate and get faster results.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I imagine that some of our audience might be wondering, well, okay, how do you establish, what the numbers are for all these different things? How is, people that are maybe even very unfamiliar, even with the Hawkins scale, original scale. So what are these numbers? What are these frequencies? What are you talking about? How would you even measure them? So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, the way that I very first started is I had someone measure me. This was many, many years ago. I was at some kind of a conference, and he measured me. And back then, they only used one number for a person. So he put me at 750. So I went home and I like calibrated to that number. It's like, oh, well, that was biofeedback. This is what 750 feels like. And so from there, I just started working with energies. And when I did certain things, I noticed the number went up, like I was counting. So that is probably the number one thing that is going to get you the fastest results, is if you already know how to get an internal yes or no. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like the basic foundation. Whatever signal that is that tells you yes or no, whether it's muscle testing, dowsing with a pendulum. For me, I feel this pulling sensation in my stomach. It kind of pulls my head down sometimes. So that's my internal yes. And so that's how I know when I'm counting if I've landed on the right number or not, as a just an abbreviated way of saying. So you have to be able to count or evaluate your internal yes or no.
So when we're measuring, you say, well, this frequency is at a 750, at 750 what? 750 what? Like, what is that number?
Well, when he first measured me, that was just 750 on the Hawkins scale. So whatever that his scale was, that was the foundation I used. So that's where I built from. So whatever Hawkins used, he used mostly muscle testing to
Mhm.
develop his scale. I think he developed it over 20 or 30 years. There were two things in his book, though, that, he calibrated every chapter in his book. And the highest calibration of any chapter was only 890. So really, by his own admission, everything in that book was not complete truth. Otherwise, it would have been at 1,000. So there's two main things in there that, after having read his book, that I realize are no longer true. And one is that he thought that only the most enlightened people could reach this vibration of 1,000. So he was
Mhm.
from 700 to 1,000. So now we know that's not true because the scale's been broken through. And he also didn't think that you could raise your vibration by more than a few points in a lifetime. So Hawkins wasn't a healer. He wasn't trying to change the scale. He was just calibrating things. And him and his students measured tens of thousands of calibrations, maybe even hundreds of thousands. I don't know. But
Mhm.
so whatever he was measuring, I don't know, he created the scale. And so I just built from there. I calibrated to that scale and just built. So it's basically measuring a unit of whatever, I'm not sure,
Right.
a
Right.
unit of
Like
energy or whatever he was
energy
measuring.
units. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's like it's an intuitive scale, I guess is what we could call it, because we don't have scientific, like needle to show, oh, this is what
Right.
we're not doing that way, but we're doing it like an intuitive calibration based off the foundation of the scale that he created from we're not sure exactly what. So I could imagine a hardcore science piece of listen, this sounds a little off to me, but like our audience will probably totally resonate with what we're talking about. So because like I tune into things all the time, like my family will ask me different things like if they are taking supplements, okay, how many of these to take, you know, and I know, I mean, I could just tune in, I get the answer because I just tune into it, I get the answer. And usually if there's something they reorder, I get the same answer consistently. I don't mentally remember what it is, but we intuitively just know, and we have that infinite intelligence that we're able to tune into to be able to know what it is. Um, and I think one of the things you're doing is helping people really to be able to, like you said, be able to access their infinite intelligence, which probably would include, I would imagine, is your intuition, right? Your ability to just know what's really true and not true, right? So by
Completely.
raising ourselves up the scale, so this frequency scale, the energy scale, we're able to more easily and effortlessly just know what's true, right?
Exactly. In fact, that was one of the big premises behind the Hawkins scale when he created that scale, was he would say that this is how you know what's true. If something is at a high vibration, 1,000, then you know what's true. And just imagine if everyone did that today. You have all this stuff out on the news, on social media, and etc., and people are incredibly confused. They don't know what to believe. What if they just measured it? Even if it was just the Hawkins scale, what if they measured it so when people send me videos, so people send me a lot of stuff, I always measure so you can measure according to the Hawkins scale, or I mean, according to the infinity scale, or you can measure percentages. So I use percentages a lot. So I'll measure what percentage of this video is true. If it's 15%, I'm not going to bother. If it's 50%, maybe I will, maybe I won't. If it's 95, 100%, of course, but so this is how people are getting confused with so much of what's out there is the social media will combine half truths or something that's the video. There'll be things that are in there that are only halfway true. Half of it's true and the rest is not. But then people think it's all true because the other stuff was true. So they're confused. But if you just measured, then you would know what is true or not.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it, whether it's all this stuff we're dealing with politics and social justice issues and all these different topics, if we just even take topics like our business and our relationships, and we have concepts about what's true and what's not true in any of these areas. Um, what's your take on it? Like when people are feeling like a lot of that anger, for example, like I'm really angry, I'm going to tell them what the real truth is. And I mean, they're convinced right. And there's so many people with so many issues right now that feel that way. They feel so angry. I'm going to make sure this truth comes through. And, this is the truth everybody knows and lives. And, but if there's a lot of anger and a lot of that sort of energy behind it, what's your take on, your wisdom to share with people about how truthful that really is? I mean, I have my own perspective, but I'm curious what your perspective is about that.
About politics or about anger?
It could be politics, or it could be it doesn't matter. It could be
Yeah.
anything, right? Like, I know I'm right. I know that you should always save your money. You should never, use credit cards or whatever. They're
Yeah.
really convinced, right? Whatever it is.
They're very adamant about their viewpoint. Well, here's an interesting thing about seeing the world through our filters.
Yeah.
So law of attraction, right? So if we are always carrying a lot of angry energy or fearful energy, then when we look out through that filter, that's all we're going to see. We're only going to see other things that make us angry or afraid. And so this is what's happening with a lot of what's going on social media, is you can't convince people otherwise. I have a really good friend that this whole political thing has really polarized us, but somehow we able to put all of that aside, not talk about any of it, and we're still very close and dear friends. But he is so convinced about his beliefs, but he's always been sort of an angry person, and he runs a lot of fear through his space. He even had hepatitis C, so which is all about the liver and which is all about anger. So he can't see anything else but all the things that make him angry. So that's one perspective about anger. But the beauty about this system is that sometimes when people get a taste of what it feels like to not be angry, because when I do say a clearing on someone, I'm not taking their anger away. We're just releasing all of the excess anger,
Mm.
all the anger that people just carry around as a reminder to never be abused, to never be taken advantage of, et cetera, et cetera. When you're standing in your power, you don't need that reminder because you know that you won't put up with things, and you have clear boundaries, and you know how to say no, and you know how to allow things into your space that are aligned. So when you're not in this angry energy, you operate from a completely different paradigm. And it's so interesting that the people that are the angriest are the ones that are fighting the hardest for, like, to me, when you really standing in your truth, you don't have to be angry about it. You can just stand there and just, I'm a rock solid pillar, just standing here in my truth. I don't need to convince you of anything. And so when you have this, so here's the synopsis of ultimate power: is one, minus the anger, minus the fear, dropping down into your heart where you express your voice. Because most people, the reason that they're angry is they don't feel heard or understood. So if you have clear communication that's dropped down from your heart, expressing what you truly believe from your heart, that's where you step into your power, and you don't have to be afraid or angry. And then when you can measure your amusement, which it can be at 100%, you clear all that serious energy out of your root chakra, then you can be amused at what's going on. And all the people that are, it's going to get louder. It's not done getting loud. All the people that are the darkness and stuff that's falling away, that's not aligned with the direction we're all going, that is going to get louder. And so all the more reason that we need to stand in our ultimate power, which is not angry. Ultimate power is not angry.
Yeah. Right on. Right. I like that. I like that. That is so right on. And this is what we're talking about, so people do know what we're talking about. We're talking about, accessing your ultimate power. That is what we're talking about. And then, that is so true. It's like when I am really in that really connected state, versus if I am in a triggered state. Like when I'm in that real connected state, you're right. Like people could say anything, like things that if I was in a trigger state, I'd be like, I'd have some of that energy going on. But if they're just talking, I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. Just kind of like everything's just kind of interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Viewpoints, concepts, anger, whatever. It just is that way. It's not. There's no charge around it. It's just kind of like curiosity. You might have almost a sense of empathy about it, but you're not sucked up into it, right? It's just like, oh, okay, that's happening for you. I
Yeah.
feel that in my heart for you, but I understand where you are, and so I mean, and I feel like that's what we're talking about here, Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. It's like that's what we're talking. We're pointing into this deeper power. That's why I wanted you on as guests. Like we can be very effective leaders, because I think people have confused power with anger. Like there's so people are showing it all the time online. Like, well, if I get really angry, I'm showing up in my power finally. They're trying to move from martyr victimhood, like I just shut up and don't say anything, or, I think, in some cases, and then they're trying to maybe move up. Now I'm going to get vocal, but now it's anger. Maybe that's the progression for some people, but it's not your ultimate power, that's for sure. So,
Right.
um, yeah.
It's a place where a lot of people get stuck in that progression, because I know,
Yeah.
having been born and raised in this religious cult, and being a Stepford wife, I really kept things muffled. I didn't complain, and yeah, but then it got to a point where then my anger took over, and that's what fueled me up and out of that religious cult, abusive marriage. So it's not like I'm making anger wrong.
Right.
Anger has a point, has a purpose. It's meant to show us when things are not just, when things are not fair.
Right.
But then use that anger to fuel you and move you to do something. That's how you use anger. But too many people, when I'm finding and clearing energy, angry energy out of their field, there's three main places. Well, four. Well, here in the sixth chakra, that's the beliefs of like, I need anger to feel safe.
Mhm.
Down in the heart is where that anger is used against us. Like, we use it to beat ourselves up, to motivate ourselves, which is not very fun. And then a lot of anger right at the solar plexus. So usually the solar plexus is shut down. That's our power center. And they're running massive amounts of anger through there because it feels powerful. It feels big. It is a big energy, but it's not our personal power. So when the solar plexus is moving and it's clear and it's flowing, we get things done easily and effortlessly. And then when it's balanced with the feminine energy in the solar plexus, that pulls things to us like a magnet. So you have that balance of masculine and feminine energy in the solar plexus. And then the other place where there's people hold a lot of anger is right in the root. And so that's that energy that says, this is how I feel safe, is, I get angry. And so none of it is sustainable. You can do that for a time, but over time, it's very hard on your nervous system. It's very hard on everything. It's hard on your loved ones. It's a really hard way to operate.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. It's definitely not good for your overall health and well-being, typically, anyway. I wouldn't
Right.
say it's optimal for your health. So I guess everybody could say that there's. I know this angry old guy is 120, he's fine, but I think it's kind of the exception. So, but
Right.
anyway, yeah. So I mean, one of the things that you really help people with really is in the area of business and money and all that sort of stuff. Um, Tell us a little bit more about how you help people in that aspect. And I know that we talked about maybe even doing something to, help our listeners today around that with frequencies. So tell us more about how you help with this frequency stuff with business and money.
Yeah, well, first I healed my own money story, born and raised and on welfare, and really struggled my whole life. Parents were from the Depression era. And so a lot of programming around lack mindsets, even in this religious cult, couldn't have anything material, being materialistic. So when I went through a bankruptcy in 2009, I'm sitting on the side of the road in my motorhome. That was kind of my lowest point. And so from there, I've been using all the knowledge and information I got from those downloads with ayahuasca, which opens you up to a lot of other things, other dimensions, other information. I also used my own healing abilities, healing powers on myself, and also the scale, so measuring things. And so one of the things that I discovered, one of the first big breakthroughs when I came out of the jungle in 2012, when I started to break through the Hawkins scale, is I discovered I could measure the vibration of money. And so I discovered a very simple way of being able to ground our money, to eliminate all the energies that bring our money vibration down, the beliefs of our parents, whether they're alive or not. There could be exes that are long gone, but they're still somehow plugged into our money. Kids can have a really high demand on our money. Well-meaning friends and family. Our boss might be, in our money space. So there's just a bunch of things that can be released from our energetic money pile. And then there's a certain way to just run that through our energy field so that we not only have a high money vibration, which is important, but then we're aligned with it in every one of our chakras and throughout our whole energy field. So that's what really makes the difference in, shifting people in their money consciousness and actually getting results. Law of attraction, we're going to attract what we're vibrating. But if we don't know where our money vibration is, first of all, and we're not aligned with it in every chakra, we're not going to have the kind of results we really want. So, law of attraction, then rich resources start showing up. Could be money. Maybe, we pull up at the meter and a full meter. All those little things that we start showing gratitude and appreciation for tells the universe what we want more of. And then bigger things start showing up and more opportunities effortlessly. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Nice. So with that in mind, is there a process that you could take us into to help us with our money vibration today?
I would love to. And so we'll take this as a step that we would do, say, after you run your energy. It's called running your energy. In fact, the gift that I'll be giving is the 20-minute meditation that I give to everyone so that they know the process of basically running your energy, which is getting grounded, running energy through your central orbit and through your arms, which is your circle of reciprocity. So let's do it.
All right.
Okay, good. So we would ideally have people sitting with their feet flat on the ground. And we will just do the very beginning part of getting ultra grounded. So you would send that line of energy, make it at least as big as a softball, a line of energy going from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the planet, attaching securely right to that core. And then imagine roots going down from the bottoms of your feet that go not only down into the earth, but all the way through to the other side of the planet. And then allow those roots to wrap all the way around the planet Earth. This is getting ultra grounded. And then from there, start bringing up through your feet this abundant feminine earth energy as it comes up through the feet. So actually, I'm noticing that the feet right there is a little stuck right at the feet. So we're just going to gently pull that up through the ankles so we can allow more fun in our lives. And then through the calves where a lot of adrenaline collects, through the knees, up through the thigh, and then let it spill down the grounding cord. So now you have 2 loops of energy going up your legs, down the grounding. And then the third and final part to getting ultra grounded is to pull in your worry circle. So ideally you wouldn't have one, but the worry circle is an energy that radiates around the root chakra. It radiates out horizontally, like if you have a big hula hoop around your root. And so we'll see how congested the root chakra is, if at all. We're going to imagine that we know where the 15th layer of our aura is. This is a layer where the 1% energy, that oppressive energy on the planet, this is where they hang out. So we're just going to pull that oppressive energy out of our root chakra. It makes everyone feel unsafe and unstable on the planet. We're just going to pull that into the core. And normally we would send things down the grounding, but everything that relates to the 1% we send up through our central core so it can go off planet now. Okay, great. So now there's no worry circle. So from here, I'd like you to imagine a big pile of money sitting out in front of you. You can make it as big as you like. It can have foreign money or gold bars or silver coins or whatever represents abundance to you and money. And we're going to attach a grounding cord to the bottom of this pile of money, separate from your own, and that's going to go all the way down into the core of the earth. And we're going to start releasing all of the people and their energies that are bringing your money vibration down. So we're going to start first with mothers, and then father energy, that hardworking father. And then if you have a partner or any boyfriends, girlfriends, past partners, we're going to send all of those energies down the grounding. If you have children and their high demands on our money, we'll send that down the grounding. If you have any well-meaning friends or family, send that down your grounding cord. Excellent. And then anyone that's related to work, so a boss, work colleagues, clients, business partners, send all of that down the grounding. Down the grounding cord of your money pile. We'll see if there's anyone we've forgotten. And then last but not least is that 1%, those people that own all the money on the planet, that are controlling the money. Let's send them down their grounding cord. And this is a really important energy to release, because our money vibration can be at infinity and this energy can still be in the money pile. So we'll always release this energy every single day. So from here, now the money pile is vibrating at infinity. So from here, you're going to imagine a liquid gold stream of energy coming out of the money pile. And it's going to come up above your head, and it's going to start filtering down through rings, golden rings that are stacked above your head. These are your creative rings. You'll have anywhere between 3 and 50. So these rings hold your dreams and desires, and right now they relate to money, because we're running money through these creative rings. So we're going to use this money to reset these dreams and desires with money at your highest and best interests. Just letting that seep down through these rings as it starts to come into your crown. So it's stopping right there. Let's let this high money vibration stir at the crown so that we can give ourselves permission to have everything that we desire in these rings. As it comes down through the crown, it's going to go down through the central core, through that 6th chakra where it's stopping. Let's first go out to the 3rd layer, out front and back, and just imagine you know where that is. We're going to pull in all of these beliefs that relate to feeling powerless around money. And we're going to continue to bring that money vibration down through that 6th chakra, down through the throat, so you can have easy conversations around money. Let that money vibration stir in there at the throat. As the money comes down into the heart, where it's stopping again, let's jump out to the 15th layer, both front and back, so we can pull that 1% energy out of our heart space. The 1% does not like heart energy. They operate with no heart. And they certainly don't want us to connect our hearts to our money. Okay, great. So as we bring this money vibration down through the heart, into that solar plexus, down into the second chakra, the lower belly, let that money vibration, that golden energy spill down your grounding. And now we're going to bring it up the front of our, that central orbit, the front of our spine, real close to the spine, up the front through all of our chakras as it's coming up through the second. So it's stopping right there. Let's go out to the 15th layer out in front of that second chakra and pull that 1% from the 15th layer all the way in to the core, so that you're not creating and working hard like this free range slave for the 1%. Okay, great. So now let's go back to bringing that high money vibration through the second chakra, into the solar plexus, into the heart and throat, sixth chakra, crown, through all the rings, and then let it cascade down through all the layers of your aura, like paint being poured over a balloon. When it gets below your feet, it merges with your grounding cord, so it has a place to release to. Let's pay special attention to the third layer of your aura. Just let that money, golden energy seep down like paint being poured over a balloon. You might notice right around the solar plexus, it gets a little stuck there. So just let that seep down through this third layer, taking all the effort out of making money and magnetizing and attracting rich resources. And then we're going to jump out to the 15th layer. Just pretend you know where that is. We're going to start at the bottom though, and we're going to lift this 1% energy out of this layer. This is where they kind of hang out. And we're going to just lift all that energy up and out of this layer. It's mostly up around the 6th and 7th chakra. Okay, now let this golden energy, this high vibration of money, reset your 15th layer as it just pours down like paint being poured over a balloon. And then we're going to allow this money vibration to seep down through the 20th layer. The 20th layer, we haven't talked about this yet, is your awakened predator. It's the most powerful part of your aura, your innate warrior. It has 360 degrees of awareness all the way around you. It also has access to 360 senses. Then we're going to jump out to the 30th layer. We're going to start at the bottom. This is where the reptilian energies hang out. So we're just going to lift all that reptilian energy out of our energy field. And then let this high vibration of money recalibrate this layer. Let it seep down through the 30th layer. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to run this energy through our circle of reciprocity. So the upper 4 chakras, the heart, throat, 6th, crown, and all the rings above your head. We're going to bring all of those energies out the right arm. This is the side where we give. It's a masculine giving side. So it comes down to about the bicep and then stops. So we want to be able to give is what activates the circle of reciprocity, is giving before we receive. Okay, good. So as that energy comes out the right arm, Going to put your fingertips together like you're holding a ball in your hand, so you can allow the energy to pass through the hand and through all of the fingertips. And so now it's coming into the left receiving hand, and it stops right about the wrist. So this will affect your ability to receive, receiving money, clients, rich resources, great opportunities. So we're just gently pulling this receiving, allowing yourself to receive. It's not about other people not giving to you. It's about you allowing the receiving. So it's up around the shoulder. And so as I've been doing this, I've been keeping all the people in mind that will be listening to this out into the future. So bringing that energy through the heart, front and back of the heart, creating that circle out the right arm in the left, as it simultaneously passes through the throat and through that sixth chakra, through the crown, and through all of your creative rings. All right, that looks good. So that is the process of raising your money vibration.
Nice, nice, wonderful. Thank you, Kimberly. Wonderful.
You're welcome.
Very, very thorough in a short period of time.
Yes, the system does a lot in a short period of time, which is why I love it. It accelerates everything. And you know, there's a lot of healers out there that have kind of reached their plateau or their peak, or their, you know, they're ready for something new. They're ready for something that can take them next level. And this feels like this is it. And so it's it's a great process.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And as people are kind of coming back to, so to speak, and integrating, we want to go ahead and begin to let them know more about where they can get more from you, so that they can take everything to their next level as healers and spiritual entrepreneurs, etc. So tell us more about where they can do that.
Yes, you can find me on my website, which is my name, KimberlySherry.com. And both on Facebook and Instagram, I'm Kimberly Sherry Official. And YouTube, I think you'll just Google my name and you'll find all my videos there. And then there's also a couple of offers, I think, that free things that we were going to share with people. So one is a link to the 20-minute process of, I call running your energy. So there's a little bit before what we just did, so that you're clear, so that you can tell the difference between where your energy is and where this money vibration is misaligned. So the process of running your energy is a 20-minute process, and this free link that is included also includes running your money vibration. So it's all in that 20 minutes. It's a great practice to do every morning, or morning and night, or at night before you go to bed. So you set your tone for astral where you'll still be working. And then the other link, oh yes, it is a mini course that's called Ready for My Breakthrough. So it helps you address the two most damaging and detrimental energies that just about everybody is running through their energy field right now: fear and anger, and helps you address these two energies, help you discover where it is, how to find it, and has a really powerful meditation there that's specific to those two energies. So super powerful. That's a little special.
Yeah, yeah, that's something that's is something that I believe you sell, and you're giving that as a free gift here. So we really appreciate that. And that's ready for my breakthrough mini course. And we're going to put these links into the show notes. And for those of you that are listening to this, otherwise you can look at the show notes if you have access to those, or on my blog at yoursacredpurpose.com/blog, and you'll find Kimberly Sherry's episode within that, and you could find the links easily there because they're too long for me to share them all right now. But yeah, we'll put them in there, and but yeah, this is pretty amazing. I mean, the meditation that the raising your money vibes meditation, which I believe is, like you said, is goes along the lines of what we experienced in part. Is that right? Or
That goes along the lines of, I didn't quite hear.
what we just experienced?
Yes, yes. Yeah. So the running of your energy is, it's a little more thorough than that, because there's a part that goes before we do the money vibration. So.
Yeah. So it's a little more in depth. Yeah. So absolutely take advantage of that. That's and this is the same meditation process that her clients, including millionaire clients, use daily. So millionaire clients, aren't looking to waste their time on something. So there must be something to it. So take a look at that. And then you've got the breakthrough course as well, to deal with fear and anger. Like you said, they're so prevalent these days. And thank God, because otherwise they're just spyware. They're there anyway, but they're up and more visible now. And now is a great time to really address those, so we can, really spiritually evolve and go to our next level of evolution. So thank you, Kimberly, for those wonderful gifts. If people want to check you out further, they also can go to your website, which is, again, go ahead, I'll let you share it.
It's my name, Kimberly, with L-Y, Kimberly, SHERRY.com.
Okay, great. So, Kimberly, this is very wonderful, and I'm just very impressed by the level of information and knowledge and everything that you bring. So I'm so grateful. And one of the things I do at this point in the show is just to offer you a little bit of my energy scanning to tune into your frequencies and let you have a moment to kind of reflect what came through. So are you ready to receive?
Yes, I'm ready to receive.
Oh, cool. All right, great. So I'll just take a moment. I just let whatever comes through to come through, and let's see. So hold on. So the guidance is having me share about these something about Wiccan practices. So got that past life sort of energy. One of the things I'm hearing right away is that through this lifetime that, you've been given the impression through this lifetime, and it continues because I've felt it in your vibration, is people will continue to say you've done something wrong. No, you did it wrong, Kimberly. You got it wrong. They're always pointing the finger at you. And so this is a vibration that that is going on with you. And what it really is doing, it's it's so perfect. The work you're doing is your sole purpose, because you're really helping people deal with their, as their own stuff. So the stuff that triggers them, they project right onto you. It's you. I see what the problem is now. So it's like the problems of my life are because of you, Kimberly. This is the vibe I'm getting. And so yeah, this sort of persecution. And so now you can now at this point you can understand it and appreciate where people are more so, like, oh, okay, I understand who I am and where you're coming from and why that's showing up for you. So that's great. And so you're serving that purpose. I really feel like there's something about this matchmaking energy. So this matchmaking energy is telling me that you have a way of bringing people together, not just with other people, but with whatever they want. So that makes sense, right? So with everything you said, so that energetic matchmaking, Yeah, so you're good at I give you some, it'd be good at selecting, probably be good at selecting like gifts for people and things too. You get a sense of what's needed, and you're able to deliver that in the right energy quantity or amount or the specifications that calls to you. One of the things that comes to me is that, maybe that could continue to amplify, even though I'm sure you've measured yourself as infinity at times, is also there is a sense of more joy that could be more even deeper. When we look at layers, we're looking at the depth of embodied joy, which at times we can measure and be like, no, it's infinite right now, and then it may not be. So, but I do feel this sense of joy that wants to light up even more inside yourself. And some old stuff around sadness continues to want to be released, and so that you can be as playful as you want to be, because you've got a lot of that in you. And yeah, and I just see it like, yeah, that kid in the candy shop energy just going higher, more and more. So yeah, so anyway, those are a few things just coming through to share today, Kimberly. And I know you had put in your notes that you'd love to share a reflection on anything that I gave to you today. So anything you'd like to share?
No, it sounds very accurate. I'm always up for more joy.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's do it. Yes, more joy. Let's lay it on. Okay, cool. Awesome. So if people want to check me out, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com, and there's opportunity. I have a meditation called Meditate to Make Money meditation, and that helps to just sort of open your chakras a bit, get you in a place where you can get some downloads for each day and get attuned with the money mojo that wants to come in for you. So that's that's another opportunity for you. And then there is an opportunity there as well to reach out to me to get some energy scan consultation, which would change your life. I'm serious about that, because I give a real session when people reach out to me when they do these intro sessions with me. That I really see like change their energy frequency, and also what they're ready to do. Often many times, and great insights. So check out the energy scan consultation opportunity, or just reach out to me if you want to learn more about it. And that's it. So yoursacredpurpose.com, check out the opportunities. And also you go to yoursacredpurpose.com/blog, check out Kimberly's episode to get all her amazing gifts from today. All right. So,
and last but not least, my book, if anyone is interested in a book, it's just published last week. Access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, is now available on Amazon. So.
Yes, absolutely. And that's got all that good stuff about your system and your scales and all that stuff, I imagine. Is that right?
The whole system's outlined there.
Yes. Okay, awesome.
So system.
Okay. All right, Kimberly. Any last words for the audience today?
No, other than just keep focusing on the future as a positive outcome. I believe that things are all going to turn out just fine. And the more that we can just stay aligned and in this high vibration, the easier our path is going to be. So.
Nice. And so it is, right? Okay. All right, great. All right, everybody. I'm so grateful for y'all tuning in, and you keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time, everybody. Goodbye for now. You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.